What's up, everybody? Grumpy Giant coming at you from my Skyblock paradise. And today, we are going to get a bit bloody. We are going to start working on blood magic. This is probably going to be a multi-step thing, but we'll at least get started today. So, first things first, we need to get some rudimentary snares and go get some demonic wills. The way this works, you make the snares and then you throw them at mobs. Right, so the rudimentary snare is string plus iron plus redstone gets you 4. We're gonna make 16. That should be enough. And actually, this little Enderman right here, buddy. Will you work? Will you function? Oh, yep, there he goes. And we got us a demonic will. Very cool. So that's how that works. You throw those snares at mobs, and once they get the particle effects, the white particle effects, then there's a chance to get the will. Well, it's not a chance, it's a guaranteed thing. It's a chance when you throw a snare at them that they'll get the particles. So now we've got our demonic will. And that's actually not a bad one. A 2.1 demonic will. I can live with that. So now first we need to look at the blood altar, right? The blood altar and the sacrificial dagger, because this whole mod relies on blood. So, blood altar, a demonic will, some chiseled stone, a fern eye, and some gold, right? That it right there, blood altar, boom. So there we go. We have a blood altar. We're going to need more will later on. We'll deal with that when the time comes. So, right here. Sure. Right there. Sounds good. This is the blood altar. This is the tier, the very basic. I don't even know if this is a tier. This might be tier 0. Best case, it's tier 1. We're going to need to do a few things before we can actually use it, and we're going to need to upgrade that over time. So we'll come over to this crafting terminal here, and let's get some blood magic going, right? Blood magic. Okay, we'll just do blood. At a blood. So we need to get the sacrificial dagger, which is some glass, a gold ingot, and an iron ingot. Easy peasy. And let's see where the quest wants us to go from there. So from there we need to make a blood orb, right? The weak blood orb. And once we get some of this stuff together, we'll kind of go over how to use them, right? So the weak blood orb is a diamond in the blood altar. So we need a diamond. You know, we really ought to set up some kind of automatic processing of all this armor. There is a lot of it, and the tools and stuff too. There's a lot of that stuff, and I don't care about any of it. It's just kind of taking up space. Okay, so we'll come over here to our blood altar, right? And we can get our sacrificial dagger, and we right-click on ourselves. And we're going to take some blood, which damages us pretty severely. Okay, but we've got blood in there now, so we can take the diamond and put it in there, and it kind of becomes what we're looking for over time. So this has a very small amount of capacity. It can hold, what, 10,000 millibuckets? Right, so 10 buckets, but we can upgrade that over time. I should have gotten the Hydra Chops, probably. Hopefully this thing doesn't run out of blood. That could be upsetting. It might. It might. Oh, sweet. We got it. All right. So now we have a weak blood orb, and this stores magical essence, the blood essence. Basically, this whole mod is kind of similar to, like, say, extra utilities. Let's see if we have any more of these Hydra Chops, because these things have the regen, which is amazing. Okay, we got a few. So the blood orbs, there are different tiers of blood orbs, but you always start with the weak, and you work your way up, right? You know what? Let's just refill that on that thing. So now that we've got a weak blood orb, it allows us to interact with the blood network, right? So the reason I say it's kind of like extra utilities is because due to the blood altar, the blood orb, the different ways that we can get blood, the LP, it's life essence. So whatever LP stands for. Anyway. The various ways that we can get it, it all goes into kind of like a universal worldwide wireless power network that is specific to this mod, kind of the way GP is handled with extra utilities, right? It's very similar. But now we have access to the blood, the LP network. And that allows us to do a few things. Most importantly, though, we can eventually start working on getting gems and easy for me to say, the Tartaric gems, right? So we need to look at the incense altar we'll do soon, but we need to look at upgrading the altar and the Hellfire Forge, right? So let's see what it's going to take to put together a Hellfire Forge. And we might be able to go that route. So the Hellfire Forge. Yeah, we can definitely put that together. The Hellfire Forge allows us to create different items that are used throughout blood magic. It'll come into play a little bit later. We're not going to need it too much straight up, but so let's see. Yep, okay. So there's Arcane Ashes and the Divination Sigil. The Divination Sigil lets you kind of see how much LP and power you have in your network. The Arcane Ashes you use to draw like a little circle on the ground that you can then interact with. And no, that's the I thought I heard something. All right, so let's see. So we're also going to need blank runes, which is blank slates, and that is stone done through. Okay, so we need some stone because we're going to have to pretty quickly upgrade our where's the stone? There it is. We're going to have to pretty quickly upgrade our this thing, altar. The upgrades allow it to hold more. See, and that just goes straight into the LP network, right? Yeah. Which is not exactly ideal. And be careful with this because you can damage yourself to death. You definitely can. So each of these upgrades is going to take 1,000 millibuckets of life, right? Of life essence. The important thing to note here is that your life essence production can be increased pretty dramatically. Eat another Hydra Chop. I just want to make sure we have enough blood in here to do a few of these runes. So that's part of what we need the incense altar for, right? That's a pretty big part of the purpose of the incense altar, okay? So we've got 8 buckets in there right now. That's probably good for a second. That's right, you got to do it with an empty hand. So there's 7. Let's get a few more of these, and eventually this can be automated. There are various ways to automate this using villagers and things like that. We don't really have access to villagers. I mean, the only way that we could probably get a villager is to find a zombie villager and cure it. And that just, honestly, that sounds like a lot of work for very little payoff. So let's take a peek here. So we can do this route, but I'm not super concerned about this just yet. What we do need to get into is probably the incense altar, but these... we need a book, don't we? Yeah. So let's go grab a book real quick, because we need to put a book through the... altar. And then what, can we do the blank slates yet? Blank rune? We could, we're gonna need a lot more though. So, there we go. There's a couple of blank runes to begin with. But we should be able to now... or at least in a second. We'll do this next blank slate first. And then we'll put the book through. We'll get the book for blood magic. It's not absolutely necessary, I suppose, but it's definitely helpful. And we need an empty hand. We get one more, right? Yep. So we're gonna need what, 4 more after this, I believe. Hopefully this turns right there. Yeah, cool. All right, how much did that give us? 2.5. So we're going to have to find another food source that might give us some regen. We've got, I don't even know how many golden apples. We've got quite a few, though. I can tell you that. But we're going to have to continually get a lot of regen for our health until we can get up to a better tier with some incense altar action going. To boost the amount that we get per cut or poke or whatever this thing does. I feel like it's a poke. So that's going to be 4. So we're going to need, what, 4 more? So that's... yeah, we need 4 more. How much do we have in there? Not nearly enough. That gave us 3 more. Uh-oh, we're almost out of Hydra chops. Uh-oh. Oh, no. But at least we can get a couple. All right. So, yeah, you can obviously see that the beginning part of this mod is fairly grindy because you're constantly having to go back and forth between the little stabby and eating and throwing the stone on there. So we need 8 blank runes to begin with. And eventually we're going to need a whole lot more than that. Because we're going to have to get through at least, I think, the tier 4 altar. We need blood shards, which requires the Tartaric gems, which, you know, that's fine. We can do that. And the incense altar. Yeah, so we'll set that up in just a second too, because that's kind of an important part of this this whole process. So let's come over here, and we can. Why do I feel like we either overshot or undershot? I guess we'll find out. All right, so there's updating the altar or upgrading the altar. Right? Yep. So let's open the book. And oh yeah, that's right. You can't open the book. Next tier of blood altar. You need blood runes. Set to tier 2. Okay, well, that's bizarre. Okay, anyhow. So we've got a little bit of life essence in there, so I guess we'll throw that into the blood orb. Which goes into the LP network, right? Which is why you need the divination sigil, but we will get there momentarily. What I want to do first is build up our little incense part. So you build it first with the one single incense. Let's do blood. With just this, the incense altar, just a single one. And then we'll have to kind of modify it because it gets stronger with certain other blocks nearby, right? And actually, it's going to have to be... Alright, so I moved the incense altar a little bit closer because over here you had to run over and then come back, and it was kind of dumb. So the way this works, when the dagger is empowered by the incense altar, it changes appearance, right? So if you come way over here, well, it might not do it. All right, let's just do this. So you see how I took the entire health bar away, right? That's what the incense altar does. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And I went ahead and grabbed a whole bunch of golden apples. That's the quickest, easy, kind of down and dirty way to do this. This thing can still only hold 10 buckets, and it's because we need to upgrade the altar. So the altars are pretty easy to construct. Can I pick this up? Yeah, I can. Cool. Does it keep its... Yes, it does. Cool. So what I want to do, I want to find the middle of the room, which is probably right about here, I think. Yeah, yeah. So we're going to go up a couple, I'd guess. That should work, because then we can dig down if we need to. Right, and we're going to come drop this guy off right here. And you can see, when this thing is up a little bit higher, we have the outline. And it's because we've got that book in our inventory. So what we need to do is, this is now going to be a tier 1. It doesn't hold any more, and it doesn't really do anything special. This is just kind of the basic. It's got 5.2 in it right now. Yeah, we could do it. We'll just let it take the rest of that and see if it's full. It's close. Okay. So these runes now, we can kind of automate this part of it, the rune production up top, by putting like an item duct onto one side, and then filter it out on the other side, but honestly, that's kind of unnecessary at this point. This thing doesn't really hold enough for us to really be able to take advantage of that. But what we can do is we can kind of stand here and get a whole bunch of these runes. I'd like to be able to upgrade this to a tier 2. The altar itself is what you upgrade, right? This not the altar itself, the bigger part of the altar is what you upgrade. And each time you upgrade it, we're going to go from here down and out every time, which is why I wanted to build this up a little bit. And then the last layer will actually, I want to say it's going to be on this, or at, like, inside this layer, but it might actually be one below. So, you know, that's fun. But it's not a big deal, because it's not going to hurt it to either be below the surface or at the level, or, you know, whatever we have to do to get to the tier that we need to get to. Which is left? Yeah, there's enough for one more. So we've got 7 right now, which is not nearly enough. Let's go ahead and boop. The other thing that we can do is we can upgrade the incense altar to give us more per poke. But again, we're kind of still limited because this can only hold 10 buckets. And the only way to upgrade that is to get capacity runes out here on the outside. And I don't think we're at a point yet to be able to do that. That point will be coming soon, though. So I'm going to sit here for just a minute, get a few more of these runes put together, and then I will be right back. Alright guys, so I have a whole bunch of blank slates that we can kind of, oh, would you just stop it? That we can go ahead and kind of put together. I keep forgetting that I'm attuned out that way. Okay, so anyhow, what we're going to do is we need to move the incense altar to directly beneath this, right? So if we're here, that one, I think, yeah. Okay, and then we need to change the 9 blocks to other items directly beneath it. All right, so let's go and take care of that while we also take care of the next set of upgrades, right? So can we do any of Rune of Self-Sacrifice, Reinforced Glowstone? Yeah. Can this be the low? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so let's get a bunch of the blank runes. We're going to need all these anyway, so might as well. So there's our 20 blank runes, right? And we can upgrade these. Oh, that's not, I want that. Thank you. So then we also need to get a couple logs. I guess we'll just do oak. We need 4 of those. We need some dirt. And can we do... leaves? Yeah, we could do leaves. Let's do jungle. Okay, so that should, you know, can we get a few more jungle leaves? Because we're going to want to mix these up. So the next task that we've got, we need to put some things down, right? So what we're going to do, we'll do there, probably. We'll throw down a couple of logs, and then we'll throw down a couple of dirt, because we're going to empower the incense altar, right? The divination sigil would actually allow us to kind of get a better idea of what's truly happening there. But to be honest, I don't really care. All that does is boost the potential to get additional blood out of the poking ourselves. So we need a couple seeds. Actually, you know what? Let's do carrot. We'll throw down 1 carrot, and let's do a potato. There are other ways to kind of empower this setup. To be quite honest, I'm not super concerned about it. But, you know, if you want to, I would suggest doing the research. Go on to some of the wikis. It will kind of guide you through it. We need a hoe. But in this playthrough, because we're not super in-depth on blood magic, I'm not going to worry about it a whole lot. Just to put that out there. Ideally, we would put water in this corner. And you know what? Actually, maybe we'll do that. Because water does count as serenity. That's not what I wanted. I want this one. Give me water. Can I... water? We could take one of the water eggs. That'd be cute. And then we'll just use stone under that, I suppose. The last thing I need, though, is for that to pop out. Okay, let's get some stone. And throw stone under there. And then we can throw the water down right like that. So there we go. So that empowers our incense altar. I don't think having it underneath here is going to be a problem. Wow, sorry about that. That was bright. If it ends up being an issue, then I guess we'll just have to kind of adjust it from there. But what this is going to let us do, you see, so we've got 3.5 buckets in there now. We were getting about 2.6 buckets, so let's see if this increased that at all. Yeah, a little bit. Not a ton. Not a ton, but, you know, a tiny bit. What are the particle effects, though? Soul Fray. I'm not sure what that is. Okay, well, anyhow. What is this? Who put that there? That's ridiculous. All right. So now what we want to do, we want to take our book. We want to tier it up, right? Set it up to tier 2. Right? And then we can shift right click there. What is this? What is that supposed to, right there maybe? Okay. Anyway, so what we need to do, we need to come out 2 and down 1, right? So the next set is going to go right on top here. Okay, so we will do like this, and then we'll go 5 over this way. And then that, no, this is where we want this, right there. So where's my atomic deconstructor? And then 4, 5, yes, there, and then we come out 1 more. And there is the basic pedestal. But now what we need to do is we need some glass and some glowstone. And this will let us tier up to tier 2. And I think once we get to tier 2, we're going to go ahead and call the episode there. But we need glass and some glowstone. We don't need 400, we need 4. And then this, you can make the corners out of any material you want, but you need to be 2 above before you put the glowstone down for the tier 2, right? Like that. Just like that. And then here, we'll go 2 up, glowstone. And then here, 2 up, glowstone. And then here, 2 up, glowstone. So this should be... maybe not. What's it missing? Let's see, does this tell us? Upgrade the altar. Blank rune. What about runes? Can we look at runes? So, blood rune. Where is a blood rune? Blood rune is just these, isn't it? Blank rune. Ritual stones. Okay, well, I tell you what, give me just another second here. All right, so there is the tier 3, yeah, this tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So there's the tier 3, and we can get rid of the glass in the corners. We actually don't need that at all. We can still access down here, and ideally we will replace some of these to get more tranquility with path blocks, but we need to make those first. The tier 4 altar is going to come down and go right out here. I will work on getting the augmented capacity runes, or not the augmented ones, the regular capacity runes. At least a couple of them. To look at the recipe, though, the capacity runes, let's see if we can even do it. The rune of self-sacrifice I'd love to do, but that's going to require a higher tier blood orb. The rest of this stuff, though, is pretty easy. Let's see, how about an apprentice? So that's a block of redstone, 5,000 LP. You know what we need, though? We do need the divination sigil. So how do we get the divination sigil? Is an alchemy ritual, so we need alchemy ashes, another blank slate, so the arcane ashes in a hellfire forge. So we're gonna need more demonic wills. I tell you what, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. We should be right about time, and I will work towards a little bit better. Well, no, you know what? All I'm going to do between episodes for blood magic, I will get some additional will, some greater, some of the demonic will. That's what I will do between episodes. I'll work on getting demonic will, and I'll probably have to go to the Nether to do it, most likely, or maybe the plan can be to go to a new planet and try to get some demonic will there. Maybe alien demonic will is different than regular demonic will. Maybe that's what we'll have to do. So anyway, we've got the beginning of blood magic put together. This is the basic setup, and it's only going to kind of expand from here. Yeah, we need to get better methods at getting blood, though. That is for sure. So, anyway, hope you enjoyed today's video. I had a lot of fun doing it, and thank you very much for watching. If you have any comments or any suggestions or anything, hit me up in the comments down below. Love to hear from you. And as always, thank you very much. And if you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button. Really appreciate it. If you like what I'm doing on this channel or you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate that too. And until next time, Grumpy Giant signing out. Bye-bye.